my name is Mrs. Zeke and this is English for 5th and 6th grade. Today we are going to be going over the definitions of monotheism and polytheism, but we will be doing this with a little English twist and practicing how to find these definitions using context clues. Today you will need something to write with and something to write on. Please take a minute to grab those now. Alright, in order for us to practice using context clues with monotheism and polytheism, let's try with a different word first. I'm going to give you a sentence and I want you to try to figure out the definition of the bolded word audacity. Let's practice that now. My mother had the audacity to snatch my phone from my ear and start talking to my boyfriend. I was so embarrassed. Based off of that sentence, what would you guess is the definition of audacity? Taking a look at that sentence, you can pull out a few clues to help you understand the definition of audacity. First, look at the exclamation mark at the end of the sentence. I was so embarrassed. That gives us the clue that to be audacious or audacity might mean something with embarrassed. Then you can pull apart what the person felt after the mother took the phone. They could not believe that her mom would start talking to her boyfriend. Using the clues after the word audacity in the sentence that follows, we can piece together that the definition must be something to do with being rude or having bold behavior, which is exactly how that mother was acting. Knowing how to use context clues to put the definitions together of words we don't know, let's practice that now with our two terms for today. First, let's try monotheism. Our sentence states, since the ancient Greeks and Romans did not believe in monotheism, they worshipped many gods. Looking at this sentence, using the context clues after our word monotheism, what would you guess is the meaning of that term? Knowing that they worshipped many gods and knowing that the Greeks did not believe in that, you can use that negative term not to help you understand that monotheism means the worship of one God. Another clue might be that term mono, the prefix of the word monotheism. Mono also means one. Theism meaning belief. So using the context clues and also pulling apart those stems can help you determine the meaning of the word monotheism, the worship of one God. Let's try that again with polytheism. Let's look at our sentence now. The early Greeks practiced polytheism and gave a number of gods credit for the blessings they received. Looking at what comes after the word polytheism, and pulling apart the prefix poly, you can determine that the meaning of the word polytheism is the worship of many gods. So we have two terms, monotheism and polytheism, meaning two different things, the worshiping of one God and worshiping of many. I want to pull in some information that we learned in our last episode and challenge you next. Last time we were together, we talked about the 5 major religions in the world: Christianity, Islam, Hinduism, Buddhism, and folk religions. Let's apply the definitions of monotheism and polytheism to those definitions. Take a minute and on your papers, write an M next to the term, next to the religion, that is monotheism, and a P next to the religion that believes in polytheism. Take a minute to do that now. All right, let's check those answers. First, Christianity. Put an M next to that, the belief in one God. The same with Islam, an M, monotheism. Next, we have Hinduism, and that is the belief of many gods. So put a P next to that. I tricked you a little bit with Buddhism. We cannot classify Buddhism as either mono or polytheism because there are spiritual beliefs there and not necessarily gods. So I tricked you on that one. And finally, folk religions. You can put both because there are so many different kinds of folk religions. Great job in your practice for today. There's a reason why we focused a little bit on the Greeks, and we'll talk about that more next week. That concludes our lesson for today. It has been my pleasure having you in class. My name is Mrs. Zeke, and I'll see you next week.
Hi, my name is John Hatch, and this is a 5th, 6th grade math lesson on volume of right rectangle prisms. And what you'll need for today is a math notebook and a pencil and a 4-function calculator. And if you need to go get that at this time, go ahead, and we're going to go over the standards for today. The first one is GMA2, find the volume of right rectangular prisms. GMA2A, understand that the volume of a right rectangular prism can be found by filling the prism with multiple layers of the base. GMA2B, apply volume equaling length times width times height and volume equaling B times H, or base times height, to find the volume of right rectangular prisms. All right, and as we see right here, there is a reference sheet. So if you are asked on a test to be able to find the volume, there will be a reference sheet. So you don't have to memorize the formula to be able to find the formulas to be able to answer these. But it is always a good thing to be able to have those kind of tucked away. And then that way it makes it a little bit easier and you know you're getting it as you're doing those math problems. All right, so let's take a look at this. As a review, base is the same as area. So on this we have 6 times 3 equals 18 square inches. So to find the volume of rectangular prisms, we have this one right here that shows that the base is 5 times 2, which equals 10 square inches. And at this point I'm calling it square inches because we're only talking about one level. We haven't had any height yet. So at that point it's still square inches. So if we look at it as having the height of 1, we can see it as the formula being the base 10 times the height of 1, which would give us 10 cubic inches. So we go from it being a flat square to a cube. So that's how we take care of those. Let's look at this one. On this one, we have a base and the base is like length and width. So we have 2 right along here, and we have 2 right along here. So our base is 2 times 2, which is 4 square inches. But how tall is it? And when we look at that, we can see that it is 5 high. So we do the base 4 times the height of 5, and that gives us 20 cubic inches. On this next one, we can see that in the base that there is a 3 and a 4 along that side. So we have 3 times 4 equals 12. And the height, when we look at it, the height is 3. So on that one, when we do 3 times 4 equals 12 and the height is 3, then we get 12 times 3 equals 36 cubic inches. So that's how we solve finding the volume of right rectangular prisms. And let's try some together. So here's our first one. When we see this one, we have a base that's 4 on this side right here and 5 on this side right here. So 4 times 5 equals 20, and we're just calling it square inches right now. We can see that the height is 2. So when we write this out, we're going to have 20 because of the base times 2 for the height, and that equals 40 cubic inches. Well, let's look at this one. There are 3 different shapes there. Oh man, this one will be fun. So on this first one right here, we have a base that goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And right over here, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 5 times 4 equals 20 square feet. And on this one, we have a height of 3. So we're going to do 20 times 3 equals 60 cubic feet for this one right here, prism 1. And right over here, we're going to just kind of keep it right there and say that it's 60. For the second one, we can see that the base is 2 right here and 3 along here. So 2 times 3 equals 6 square feet. We can see that the height is 4. So we now have 6 for the base times 4 for the height equals 24 cubic feet. So we're going to put that one right up here that says that prism 1 is 60, prism number 2 is 24. Let's go to this third one. It's this one over here on the right. And this base down here, we can see that there's only 1 on this side, 2 on this side. 1 times 2 is 2 square feet. And when we see that the height is 6, we can now multiply it as 2 for the base times 6 for the height equals 12 cubic feet. All right. Now, we're not done yet because we have those 3 prisms, but we have to add them all together. So we're going to take prism 1, prism 2, and prism 3. And we add that as 60 plus 24 plus 12, and we get the answer of 96 cubic feet. All right. Well, let's look at this one. Whoa. This one, they give us the whole volume, 840 inches cubed. And they give us the height of 10 inches. They give us one side as 7 inches, but that other side is X. Oh, man. Well, I remember that we have to multiply all of these. So let's write that out first. We have the base, 7 times X times 10 equals 840. Well, let's get rid of the 10. So we're going to divide 10 on both sides. And that gives us 7 times X equals 84. Well, let's get rid of the 7 now. And we're going to divide both sides by 7. And that's going to give us X equals 12. So that side over here means that it's 12 inches. All right. Well, let's look at this. It's your turn. And so with this, we have these 3 shapes right over here. We have 1 right here. And that's a rectangular prism. This is a rectangular prism. And we have 2 rectangular prisms right here. And we're going to give you about 2 minutes, 15 seconds to be able to answer those and come up with the volume of those. All right, good luck. All right, for the base, for the first one, we can see that it's 3 right here. We can see it's 3 right here. So we have 3 times 3 is 9. The height is 4. So we have the base of 9 times 4 is 36 cubic inches. All right, let's go on to the second one. On this one, we have a base of 6. And on this, the length right here is 6 and the width is 4. So 6 times 4 is 24. We have the height of 3. So 24 times 3 is 72 cubic inches. All right, on this last one, there's 2 parts to this. The first one, the base is 5 times 4, and we come up with 20. The height is 2. And so 20 times 2 is 40 cubic inches. For the second one, the base is 4 times 2, and that's 8. The height is 2, so 8 times 2 is 16. And so we have to add those 2. We have 40 plus 16 equals 56 cubic inches. And if you got that, you did an awesome job. All right, so we've been doing a lesson on the volume of right rectangular prisms. And you found out that all it is base times height, and base many times is just, well, not many times, every time, it's just length times width. And so you'll have this formula sheet right here that will help you out, so there's no reason to kind of freak out and get nervous about it. So thank you for being a part of this lesson today, and have a great rest of the week.
Hello, my name is Ms. Shiva, and I'm here with the Kansas City Public Schools, and this is Science for 5th and 6th grade.
Last time we have learned about muscular system and skeletal system, their structure and function, and today we continue learning about body systems. So today you will be learning about a respiratory system and circulatory system. So after this video, guys, you will be able to explain what is the structure of each system and function of each system. Also, you will learn about main organs of each systems and importance, of course. Let's get started.
The human body is made up of multiple interacting systems. Each system in a human body has special function. Okay, last time, guys, we had learned about skeletal system and muscular system. Your skeletal system gives your body support and structure so you can stand up. And the bones in your skeletal system would not be useful without a muscular system to help them to move around. Last time, we set up an experiment using chicken bone and vinegar. Let's see what happened to the chicken bone after 2 weeks. Even though bones are very light, they are also very strong. However, how strong they are depends on how much of calcium they contain. Bones are made of calcium and soft materials called collagen. When the chicken bone was placed in a glass of vinegar, the acid in the vinegar dissolved the calcium so that only collagen was left. Calcium is needed to make our bones strong. When there is not enough calcium, our bones become soft and they're more likely to break. The soft collagen simply isn't strong enough to support our body on its own. But don't worry, the acid found in some food and drinks won't destroy your bones. Just make sure you eat plenty of food that have calcium in them, such as milk, cheese, soy product, beans, almonds, and orange juice. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and move on to systems we're going to learn today. We're going to start with the circulatory system. Our circulatory system is sort of like a transportation system of our body. It carries and distributes things like nutrients, sugar, and oxygen to different parts of our body and collect waste for removal. Our circulatory system consists of our heart, blood, and blood vessels. Blood is a liquid that actually transports oxygen, nutrients, waste, and other substances. Waste from our body is picked up and transported by blood to our kidneys, and carbon dioxide waste is carried in your blood to your lungs, where it is exhaled. Your blood also has cells from your immune system that fight diseases and heal injuries. Your heart is an organ made of cardiac muscle tissue, and it is located behind your breastbone. Your heart is an engine of circulatory system. It pumps blood to different parts of your body. Your heart is made of 4 chambers: a left and right atrium, and left and right ventricle. You guys already know that in the science we use a lot of models of different kind of objects. So right now in my hands you see a 3D diagram of your heart. If you make a fist and look at it, this is the size of your heart, actual size of your heart. Okay guys, let's see how the blood travels through our body. So oxygen-rich blood flows from your lungs to the left side of your heart, first through the left atrium and then to the left ventricle. From there, it's pumped to the rest of your body through the aorta, a large, powerful artery. The oxygenated blood moves through your body, releasing oxygen and collecting carbon dioxide. The deoxygenated blood returns to your heart through the right atrium and gets pumped back into your lungs from your right ventricle. Once in the lungs, the blood collects oxygen and releases carbon dioxide, and starting the process all over again. Blood vessels. Blood vessels are like the roads and highways of the circulatory system. When your body pumps oxygenated blood to the rest of your body, it is carried by the blood vessels. Blood vessels that carry blood away from the heart are called arteries. Because arteries need to regulate how much blood flows to each part of your body, they have thick muscular walls that can expand and contract to let more or less blood to flow through. From the arteries, blood moves into tiny blood vessels called capillaries that deliver blood directly to the cells in your body. After your blood has dropped off oxygen, glucose, and nutrients to your cells and picked up the carbon dioxide and other waste, blood starts to make its trip back to the heart in a blood vessels called veins. To keep blood traveling back to the heart in the right direction, veins have one-way valves that allow blood to only move in one direction. Okay, our next system is a respiratory system. Cellular respiration is a series of reactions that breaks down glucose, a simple sugar, releasing chemical energy for your body to use. In order to use this sugar or burn these calories, your body needs oxygen. Cellular respiration uses oxygen and releases carbon dioxide and water as waste products. Blood is a delivery system that carries oxygen to all your cells from the lungs and returns to the lungs with the carbon dioxide waste. And here again, guys, you see in my hands a 3D model of your lungs. Okay, let's talk about respiratory tract in details. You breathe air through your mouth and nose. From there, the air moves into your pharynx, which is a passageway in your throat that leads to both your stomach and lungs. The epiglottis is a flap that prevents food from going into your airway, but when you breathe, the epiglottis remains open. From there, air moves into your larynx, a part of the air passage where your vocal cords are located. The air then moves into a trachea, which is lined with a cartilage to keep it firm and ensure it does not collapse. Next, the air moves into tubes leading to your lungs, called bronchi. Bronchi branch into smaller tubes called bronchioles. Bronchioles connect directly to alveoli, millions of tiny air sacs. Oxygen from the air in the alveoli moves into the blood in the capillaries to be distributed through your body so respiration can happen in all of your cells. At the same time, carbon dioxide waste in the blood moves into air in the alveoli to be exhaled. Smoking kills cilia in your trachea, which is why smokers have a gross sounding cough. They have to physically hack all the gunk out of their pipes. Super gross. Breathing is a mechanical process of taking in air. You breathe automatically. You don't have to think about breathing. Air gets pulled into your chest when your chest expands and pushed out when it is contracts. A muscle under your ribcage called diaphragm. This muscle controls this motion. Alright guys, this is all what I have for you for today. So far we have learned 4 systems: skeletal, muscular, circulatory, and respiratory systems. I hope you enjoyed this video and I will see you next time.
Hi, Professor Reese back at you with another segment of African American history. Today we're going to talk about the Jim Crow era. We talked about Reconstruction and what that meant, where the states were trying to come back together. But of course, the South was very resistant to that idea. So they invoked laws that were called Jim Crow. And those laws really revolved around keeping Black people, once again, separated from whites. So you had laws that said you can't drink out of the same fountain, you can't use the same bathrooms, they would not serve you at restaurants. So let's delve into the Jim Crow.
Race in America, a unique problem. Self-reflection is necessary for solving. How did we get here? Aren't we all equal? Does the legacy of slavery still impact people? We gotta think about how this country was built, to examine some attitudes that exist still. Racist attitudes over time evolved. They go back to what were known as Jim Crow laws, a wide-ranging set of laws and customs. They were written into law and society enforced them. Separate schools, pools, and ticket booths, and interracial marriage was illegal too. Every part of daily life was restricted. For blacks in the South, the system was wicked. This was post-slavery and post-reconstruction. Protection for blacks was totally given up on. You see, some whites believed in fixed racial order, that whites were superior over all others. And if Jim Crow laws were broken, violence and lynchings were the repercussions. For instance, Emmett Till was lynched at 14 years old. Reportedly, he looked at a white woman and whistled. This was 60 years ago, not that long. And this Jim Crow mindset lingers on.
You gotta look back to learn what it was will be. And listen, the past ain't always pretty. What you know about Jim Crow? It shows what American history isn't so simple. Gotta look back to learn what it was will be. And listen, the past ain't always pretty. What you know about Jim Crow? It shows what American history isn't so simple. So old Jim Crow settled over the South, and those with the means to do so got out. Thousands fled in a great migration, heading north to escape strict segregation. Others stayed and took major risks to fight Jim Crow and seek justice. The fight to end Jim Crow had just begun, and things got real with Plessy versus Ferguson. This was 50 years before Rosa Parks. Homer Plessy sat in a whites-only train car. The case was heard before the Supreme Court. The ruling is how separate but equal was born. Pretty dark time, but there was still a spark that became a fire. Activists did their part. Booker T. Washington, a former slave, believed educated blacks would bring about change. With education, he saw financial freedom, so he founded Tuskegee Institute for his people. And the NAACP was founded by W.E.B. Du Bois to protect black lives after decades of injustice and Jim Crow laws, and the NAACP fighting them in court. These things formed the perfect storm in '54. Brown versus the Board of Ed in the Supreme Court, and Thurgood Marshall successfully argued that separation was not equal. This ruling overturned Plessy Ferguson and ended laws that supported segregation. Jim Crow was no longer the law of the land, but it didn't disappear overnight. Understand? The fight for your rights is a fight for your life. So when the story is told, be on the right side. You gotta look back to learn what it was will be. And listen, the past ain't always pretty. What you know about Jim Crow? It shows what American history isn't so simple. Gotta look back to learn what it was will be. And listen, the past ain't always pretty. What you know about Jim Crow? It shows what American history isn't so simple. Gotta look back to learn what it was will be. And listen, the past ain't always pretty. What you know about Jim Crow? It shows what American history isn't so simple.
This nation will rise up, live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
Okay, scholars, good job on learning about Jim Crow. Second, we're going to close with an African proverb, but before we do that, I'd like to say that I truly enjoyed these two lessons, but we're going to keep it moving because from Reconstruction and the Jim Crow era, we then go into blacks leaving the South because of Jim Crow laws, and they just weren't being treated the way they wanted to be treated as human beings. So where we go from here is the Great Migration, when we had tons of African Americans that moved from South to North, and then from the Great Migration. We go into one of my favorite eras. Love it, love it, love it because of the music, the dress, the art. We go into the Harlem Renaissance. Okay, in closing, we're going to close with an African proverb, and the proverb for today is, if you are filled with pride, then you have no room for wisdom. Thank you so much for joining me. We'll see you next time when we talk about the Great Migration and the Harlem Renaissance. Thanks for joining. Have a great day.
Hi everyone, this is Miss Lu and this is Intermediate Chinese. So today we will continue to learn about Chinese idioms, and the idiom we're going to learn today is called 惊弓之鸟. 惊弓之鸟. So our objective for today, so you will be able to say the idiom and also know the story behind the idiom. Things you may need as usual is your notebook and pencil to take notes. Okay, 10 seconds to get ready and we are start to learn. Okay, as usual, before we learn the new idiom, let's do a review of the one we learned last time. 闻鸡起舞. So remember, 闻鸡起舞, rise up upon the hearing the crow of the rooster and practice with a sword. So it's used to describe people with ambition who wake up early and study hard, work hard to prepare for a brighter future. Okay, 闻鸡起舞. And today we will learn 惊弓之鸟的故事. 惊弓之鸟的故事. So, as usual, I will go over the story in Chinese with you, then I'll explain it to you. After that, we're going to write down the characters together and see some examples. So, 战国时, 惊弓之鸟的故事. 战国时, 魏国有一个人叫更雷，他很会射箭。有一天，更雷和魏王去打猎，一只大雁慢慢飞过，大雁边飞边叫。更雷仔细看了看，指着大雁对魏王说，大王，我不用箭，只要一拉弓，这只大雁就能掉下来。于是，更雷左手拿弓，右手拉弦，并没有取箭。只听得“嘣”的一声，一只大雁掉了下来。魏王看了，大吃一惊：“你真有这本事！”更雷说：“大雁飞得慢，因为它受过伤；叫得悲惨，因为它没有同伴。”他一听弦响，心里很害怕，一使劲，伤就裂开了，就掉下来了。So, 惊弓之鸟的故事, the story of 惊弓之鸟. So it says during the warring period in the Wei Kingdom, there was a people whose name is Geng Lei, and he's good at archery. So one day, Geng Lei and the king of the Wei, they went to hunt, and a wild goose was flying by very slowly. The wild goose chirped as it flew, and Geng Lei took a closer look, pointed to the goose and said to the king, "Your Majesty, I do not use the arrow as long as I draw the ball. The goose will fall down." So Geng Lei held the ball in the left hand and drew the string with the right hand. He did not use an arrow. And then with a sound, bang, the goose fell down. And after the king saw it, he was surprised and said to Geng Lei, "You really are something, you really have some skills." And Geng Lei said, "The goose flew slow because it was wounded, and the goose was yelling sadly because it was alone and has no companion. So when it heard the string sound, it was scared. It won't open up when it tried to use some strength, so then it fell down. Okay, so that is the story of 惊弓之鸟. 惊弓之鸟. The meaning is a bird frightened at a strength sound, so it's used to describe a frightened person. Okay, 惊弓之鸟. Let's say the word after me. 惊弓之鸟. 惊弓之鸟. Okay, one more time. 惊弓之鸟. Okay, ready to write it down together? 惊弓之鸟. A frightened bird. 惊 here means scared, frightened. 惊弓 which is the ball. 惊弓之鸟 the bird. Okay, 惊弓之鸟 a bird frightened. 惊 the left part is the heart and the right part 点 横 then you write a square and then 竖钩点点惊 means frightened, afraid. 弓横竖横竖横 one go, okay, which is the bowl. 惊弓之点横撇捺之 then 鸟 the bird 撇横竖钩 okay 点竖横 one go and then 横惊弓之鸟 this is how you write it. Okay, after me together. 惊弓之鸟 惊弓之鸟 So let's take a look how we use it in a sentence. 惊弓之鸟 So first example 一个做了亏心事的人听到每一响声都如同惊弓之鸟 So if you did something bad, you hear something, you're going to think it's referred to you. It's like you will be acting like a frightened bird. 2他简直成了惊弓之鸟，有一点风吹草动就吓成这样。So basically, a similar meaning as the first sentence. So it's like a frightened bird. As long as he heard something, he gets scared. Okay, 惊弓之鸟。3敌人有如惊弓之鸟，四处逃窜。So in a war, like the enemy is like the frightened bird. Frightened bird is run away all over the place. Okay, so some examples of how you use 惊弓之鸟。一个做了亏心事的人，每听到一声响，都如同惊弓之鸟。他简直成了惊弓之鸟，有一点风吹草动就吓成这样。敌人有如惊弓之鸟，四处逃窜。Okay, so to conclude, as usual, I'll leave you a homework, which is to practice writing 惊弓之鸟 3 times and try to create a sentence by yourself. See if you can use it. Okay, 惊弓之鸟. So that's it for today, and it's my pleasure to having you in my class. I'll see you next time.
Hello, we're happy to have you visit Carver. We are a dual language school where our students become truly bilingual and biliterate.
Welcome to Carver Dual Language.
Hola, bienvenido al primer grado en Carver. Welcome to first grade in Carver. In kindergarten and first grade, all students learn to read and write in Spanish.
Welcome to 4th grade at Carver. In 4th grade, our students have the opportunity to join our robotics team. Our students work together on a community project and learn to code a robot's movements.
By 6th grade, Carver students are truly bilingual and biliterate. Students can fluently speak, read, and write in both Spanish and English. Carver students move on to much success in middle school, high school, and beyond.
We celebrate Hispanic heritage throughout the year at Carver Dual Language. Each year, students develop a plan to make goods to develop and to sell at our Mercado. This is our annual fall market that classes have booths that students come together and sell their items that they've created. Staff, community members, family, parents, grandparents, all can come together, buy the goods, and celebrate Hispanic heritage together.
In Carver, we have an involved PTA where parents and families can be part of our school community.
Thank you for joining us on this tour. If you would like to schedule a personal tour or learn more about our school, please call 816-418-4925.
Welcome to Foreign Language Academy, Kansas City, one and only emerging school for Chinese and Spanish.
We are so happy to have you visit FLA. I'm Dr. Joel Ramsdale, the principal of Foreign Language Academy. We are the region's only international baccalaureate school that is authorized as a primary years program, as well as being in candidacy for our middle years program. We look forward to sharing more about our school with you.
Bienvenidos al cuarto grado. Immersion is the best way for a student to become fluent in a foreign language.
At FLA,
FLA, we have a strong sense of community. Our parent-teacher organization meets monthly and organizes different events and activities such as Arts Night, where students can showcase their artwork and also enjoy live performances by students.
Each year, the 8th grade Spanish student fundraise to help support a trip to Costa Rica.
Children at FLA have an advantage, learning English as well as a foreign language. This will prepare them for not only being in the classroom, but beyond.
When our families join FLA, they select a school for their kids that is elementary and middle school. Our students are able to experience the full immersion program since kindergarten all the way to 8th grade.
Thank you for joining us on this virtual tour. We appreciate it. If you would like to learn more about Foreign Language Academy or schedule a personal tour, please call our school phone number, which is 816-418-6000. We look forward to sharing all of the great things that we're doing here at the Foreign Language Academy with you.
We're happy to have you visit our family here at Northeast Middle School. My name is Principal Schriever, and I am the principal here at Northeast Middle School. We serve students in the 7th and 8th grade in the historic Northeast neighborhood in Kansas City.
Welcome to Northeast Middle, the home of the mighty Titans.
Welcome to Northeast Middle. Transitioning to middle school is exciting, but it can also be scary. But that's what we're here for. I teach student success skills, a class where students get in touch with their emotions and learn how to stay on task in their courses.
Hello, my name is Mirna Naya. I am the parent liaison at Northeast Middle School. I communicate with parents, legal guardians regarding school information, events, school advisory committee, and more. I love interacting with students' families every day.
Hello and welcome. My name is Christine Dismay, and I teach Geography and Economics here at Northeast Middle School. We have a safe and nurturing environment in our classrooms. Your student will enjoy learning here.
Hi, I'm Laura Cole. I'm an 8th grade math teacher. Welcome to 8th grade. We offer advanced courses in all core subjects. Learning here is fun and rigorous because we care about our students and their academic experience. Northeast Middle School students are successful and prepared for high school.
AVID, which stands for Advancement via Individual Determination, is a college and career readiness program. Students develop the skills they need to be successful in college starting in middle school. Most students continue their AVID course throughout high school with the same group of peers.
Hi, I'm Mr. Fleming, and I teach PE and Health at Northeast Middle School, and we have a wide range of electives including choir, band, orchestra, visual arts, creative writing, and much more.
Hello, my name is Kenneth Moore, and I teach 7th, 8th grade choir. Our goal is to ensure our students get the very best academic opportunities. Our students maintain a well-rounded experience.
Northeast Middle School is truly a diverse environment. We have scholars from all over the world, and we have as many as 30 languages spoken in our building at any given time. To celebrate the diversity in our building, we host an international festival so our scholars can get a true taste of the world.
Hi, I'm Ben Jonte. I'm the art teacher at Northeast Middle School. Project Lead the Way, one of our electives, provides our students with hands-on, real-world learning. This will give them experience in growing industries like computer science, design, and robotics.
Hello, I'm Ms. Shepherd, and I'm the athletic director here at Northeast Middle School. Here at Northeast Middle School, we offer a variety of sports for boys and girls, including basketball, track and field, soccer, wrestling, swimming, cross country, flag football, cheerleading, and volleyball.
Thank you for taking the time to visit with us today here at Northeast Middle School. To learn more about our campus or to request a personal tour, please call 816-418-3400. We look forward to sharing with you more of the exciting things occurring at Northeast Middle School.